was classified 2 years ago by the Premier of the Western Cape as a science, technology, engineering and mathematics school. And we, at the start, didn't know what it meant, and we had to redefine ourselves, what we want to do. And we said we want to define ourselves as a risk-taking, mistake-making, learning, transforming institution. Because that's what we are. We live in an environment where everything is changing overnight, and the only constant thing that remains in the school is the change that takes place. So we can't teach the way we were taught, and we need to change. So it was started 2004 by Western Cape Education Department as a FET school, meaning that we teach grade 10, 11 and 12. Serving learners with socio-economic barriers to learning, and because of that, we placed in the Elson Directorate of the Western Cape Education Department, which makes it easier for us to do some gymnastics, educational gymnastics. Currently we have 385 learners in a residential school coming from different areas in the Western, Eastern, Northern Cape. Nowadays, after our website went on, we international, I have learners from Tanzania, Rwanda, China, Korea, Chile, and I've just received an application from Russia. So the objective is to take the learners from the negative effects of the environment, communities, from adverse socioeconomic conditions, put them in a sheltered environment, give them state-of-the-art education, give them accompanying resources and support, and see what happens. 90% or 80% of my learners come from socioeconomic conditions like this. The school on top is mostly the view from the house where I stay, so the teachers stay on the premises. So we're on duty 24/7. We stay on the premises, but that allows us flexibility to juggle with our time and contact time. The learners of the 385, 300 of them stay in residence, and that makes this model expensive. So when I was appointed, they said to me, consider education for all, look at inclusivity in terms of white paper 6, focus on socio-economic challenges, experiment with your didactics, raise the bar in cognitive demand, expose the learners to international experience, and deliver outstanding learners and give you extra support for state schools in 3 years' time per learner. It was a big challenge, and we had to do some things. Just to give you an indication of the language profile, at the moment we're talking 2, 4, 6, 7 of the 11 languages, and then we also have these foreign languages, so it's a whole socioeconomic profile. I have about 90 learners who come from families with an annual income of less than 10,000 rand. So these mostly learners, your HIV/AIDS orphans, learners from child-headed households, learners from seasonal farm workers. So there are about 90 of them. On the other hand, the monetary value here is 10,000 rand units per annum. On the other hand, I also have that group there. Those will be the professionals, the doctors, the nurses, the CEOs of companies. I'm surely, I get applications from bishops, from Redham, from Westervoort, from DF Malan. But then what we do is we make deals. Now that's the thing I like to do. I like to make deals. If you pay 55,000 rand at Bishops and you want to bring your child to my school, my first reaction will be, you're not my target audience. Sorry, Mania. But you want your child here because you want your child to do IT and maths. Because I can guarantee you your child will pass maths. And it's in all likelihood your child will score more than 60% in maths. So if that's what you want, then you must pay for it. So if you can afford 55,000 rand at Bishop, you can sponsor 5 kids at the Cape Academy. So we make that kind of agreements.
Yes.
So our school fees is 3,000 rand for the year. The hostel fees is 10,000. It looks much, but that is 30 rand per learner per day. For 3 meals, a bed, free water, and electricity. If they perform in maths and science, they might get bigger subsidy or exemption of fees. We rely on outside funding. The state provides us with some money. The private sector, some people sponsor. Our operational budget is 5 million per annum. State pays our salaries, and the operational budget is 5 million. The state gives me 1.7 when Eugene was still there, and the other 3, something we had to raise with a socioeconomic profile like we had. So we said we need to innovate. So we started in 2006. We had our first matriculants. We had a distinction rate of 6.9, a merit rate of 24.3, endorsement rate of 83.5, and a pass rate of 99.4. One learner didn't make it. Conditions outside our control. Next year, the last year of the old syllabus, we increased, more than doubled our distinction rate, increased our merit rate, increased the endorsement rate, and we increased the pass rate. So then, curriculum 2005, the revised curriculum 2000, kicked in 2007, and we looked at the different subjects. We outperformed WCD by 28% in physics and 21% life science. 28% in maths, 11% in physics, and IT, we were about 14% above the provincial norm. 2008, 100% pass rate per subject. We were declared the top performing in our lady school in South Africa and rated second. That's now the Sunday Times rating. We were rated second in South Africa for physics and fourth for mathematics. 2009, 50% of our candidates scored more than 70% in mathematics. 2010, we had 3 learners in the top 10 of the disadvantaged communities. Number 1, number 6, and number 10. Last year, 52% of our learners scored more than 50% in maths, and 55.5% scored more than 50% in physics. So, I said to the teachers, listen here, this is what we need to do. We need to put our kids amongst the stars. And each and every one of you should say this to each and every child in the class. Because you see, the world that our kids will be going into is a world of interrelated systems. And then we have to look at what is happening in the world at the moment. And we looked at, this is what the Massachusetts Institute of Labor indicated, that what the world economy will be looking at is that we need to deliver workers in the global knowledge economy. It's that part of the day. Then a bigger part of the population will need operational skills. And the mass of the population need basic skills. And that is how you get the economies of the world going. And the challenge and the mandate that I'm giving to the academy is, look, we need to produce kids over there to be global citizens, to generate innovation, to lead in cross-cultural environments, and to be part of virtual teams and address new issues. And I think that is what our education system and our schools in general are not talking about. But the reality is we live in Africa, and we need to prepare our kids to play their role in the development of Africa. So what we do, say hands-on, you perform the experiments. And we base it on our experimental learning process. We learn through doing. We have interaction with the parents. We travel to the parents and we base our research on the library that we have. Last year we had the winner of the Black History Month competition. Now, the school doesn't offer history. So we run it through our library. And the lady said that the boy looks familiar. We had the national winner from 5,000 kids in the country. Then we took a big leap of faith. We introduced Mandarin as a language and Chinese culture. But this then led to a financial injection into the country. Because they've got money. They give you 2 teachers, 2,000 books and electronic equipment you can die for. Tools that speak. If you touch the doll's left hand, it speaks English, and the right hand it speaks Mandarin. I had the opportunity of sending 10 kids to China and teachers for leadership courses. And at the end of this year, 3 of my matriculants will be studying, all expenses paid, at the University of Technology in China. Wow. So then NASA, last week one of my learners is a national winner of the 2012 SKA competition. We involved with SAO, with SALT, with NASA, and with SKA. We say you reach for the stars. You be there in the stars. We sent learners to Bavaria where they had to do a presentation. Now, when they go to these conferences, they must deliver papers. So 2 of the kids delivered a paper on atomic fusion as opposed to atomic fission for delivering clean energy. We did research in the desert, studied the hyperliths, and we into robotics. National champs for robotics, different kind of robotics. Last year we were the national champs. Michael constructed a robot from electronic waste. The motor was a 1964 Volkswagen windshield wiper motor. And the robot performed different performance. We went to the global warming conference in Japan where we spoke about to the G30 nations about global warming and attended the 2008 conference. Last year I sent 2 kids in the exam on the SAESC galas. And the staff said, "Meneer, you must be crazy." And I said the SAESC galas is an experimental ship. Why can't they go on the ship, write the exam on the ship via the internet? Nothing wrong. We did it, end of the year. This year we're going to do it again. We're going to send 2 kids to China in the exam. They write the exam in China. So distance is irrelevant with the use of technology. We used the environment and then we started the flying school. Another leap of faith without money. The first pilots will be coming out of the system at the end of the year. It cost them nothing. Okay, so the hostel is the thing. And I think this is a big contributing factor. If we look at the problems in our communities, the majority of our kids go to school hungry. You cannot study on an empty stomach, and that's why we don't negotiate on food, and the quality of food, and the quantity of food. We cannot eat. Right? But we also look at the spiritual development, because you see, if I look at us, what's the difference? We share one common thing, and it's that thing. Everyone, and it's not about pigmentation, it's about that thing. And everybody's that thing works on the same way. And that is why everybody can do mathematics. Okay, but we're not just a clump nerds. We go mal also. But we say, these are the challenges to Africa. We need to provide people to become design engineers, to become good managers, to do quality assurance. We're going to need nursing staff. We're going to need doctors. That's all. He said to me, "Meneer, environmental issues. We've got hyacinths in the river. And you've got the problem with the cow dung, so he made the juice out of cow dung and hyacinth, photosynthesized the chlorophyll, and it produced methane gas, which then bubbled through water. And they used the methane gas to prepare breakfast on the gas stove in the kitchen. Can be done. It was done. It was proven. ESCOM go in Johannesburg. Siobhan did an experiment from the internet, detected that the Americans were using sulfuric-based chemicals to lower the temperature due to the heating of the ozone layer, and they challenged it. And they then proved, yes, there's a decrease in temperature in the infrared spectrum. They took their results to UCT to have it verified using spectrometric analysis, and then submitted it to ESCOM and said, look, there is a lowering of atmospheric temperature, but the acidic level of the atmosphere increases and therefore causing acid rain. So we need to be careful to do this. And that was their one goal at ESCOM, and they took it to, at ESCOM it was decided that Siobhan should represent South Africa and the continent of Africa at the World Expo. ICT is compulsory at the school. Everybody needs to do programming. No choice. Digital material and international accountability. Once a year, the Commonwealth sent their inspectorate to come and have a look and come and see what we're doing. We also outreach to Africa, Cameroon, Uganda, one of my sponsors. These guys are engineers. If we just look at this, the guy on the left-hand side is, I'm finishing now, is Banele. Banele is currently doing his master's he comes from informal settlement in Reisner and is currently doing master's in the United States. Spencer prepared biodiesel at the school. He's currently second year doing aeronautical engineering at Harvard, and he's working on, he's at the moment in Beijing doing a leadership course there. He's working on a Jeep project in Kenya. This is Banele. He's doing his master's in education in 2012. And then Paul, also from an informal settlement in Langa, the Joe Slovo, which burned down. And Paul's as a qualified petrochemical engineer, and he qualified in Indonesia. Tariq, dyslexic, classified as a learner with learning disabilities, passed matric with a B, honors in commerce at the University of Johannesburg last year, in the top 10 of Stellenbosch 2 years ago. Ashwin Patience, I just learned one of my ex-matriculants just registered for his PhD. He matriculated in 2006 and is now a PhD student in statistics. Meneer, may take this in partnership with the different universities, and I think after this, Kofsies will earn the name on my list. So this is our dream, that we want to be a leading educational institution and to establish world-class facilities. And the great pleasure in my life is doing the things that people say we cannot do.
Wow.